It's completely unexpected. You go into shock. You don't know how to react at first, and then you just break down.
Unimaginable grief for the victims of a triple homicide. Those that knew them dropped off flowers near the home in South Ajax. That's now a crime scene. Police released the name of the victims today. 39-year-old Krashmira Pechanovsky, her 15-year-old son Roy Pechanovsky, and her 13-year-old daughter Vanelia Pechanovsky. Police say the man accused of killing them had a relationship with the woman. 29-year-old Corey Fenn was arrested last night at a home in Oshawa, appearing in court today charged with 3 counts of second-degree murder. Good evening, I'm Adrian Gabriel. We begin our coverage inside the home of the Bantam AAA Don Mills Flyers. This rink was a second home for 15-year-old Roy Pechanovsky. He was the team's star goaltender. I want to show you something here. Hanging high above the ice is the banner for the All-Ontario Pee Wee AAA Championships, a championship that Roy helped bring home for his Don Mills Flyers just 2 years ago. He was also a goalie who was being heavily scouted by OHL teams. I'll have more on that in a little bit. But tonight, young friends of both Roy and his 13-year-old sister Vanna are remembering 2 young teens whose lives were stolen far too early, along with their mothers.
She was 13 years old. She was way too young. She had her whole life ahead of her. He was always happy, always talking about his family, and he loved his sisters and his mom and his dad.
A friend confirms that Vanna went to Lakeside Public School in Ajax. Roy went to Crestwood College, a Toronto private school. The headmaster confirms to City News the school will be paying for the funerals of the entire family. Roy won a championship here with the school's hockey team just last week, posting a shutout in the final game, both on the ice and in the classroom. Roy is being remembered tonight as a special young man.
Very humble, very sweet, somebody that would make friends wherever he went. And I wondered how that fit in with a tough, rough goalie. But when you saw him play, he was an absolute thrill to watch.
City News has also learned that the children's mother, also known as Chrissy, worked at this spa on Church Street in Ajax. Counselors are there tonight to lend a helping hand, offering support to staff. They were too emotional to speak on camera with us today, but those who work at a next-door market and a restaurant remember the mother of 3 fondly.
Very nice lady was. Very, very, very friendly person. I think that she didn't deserve that.
She was just always very pleasant, always had a smile on her face and said hello, goodbye, how are you doing? You know what I mean?
Just seemed like a lovely woman.
Oh my goodness, lovely.
You hear the news, what goes through your mind when you saw her picture?
I was sick when I saw it was her.
Roy and Vanna had a 16-year-old sister who was not home last night during the horrific attack. It's our understanding she may have been at driving school. Now ahead on City News, I'm going to speak with an OHL scout for the London Knights who had scouted Roy on multiple occasions and tells us about the bright future in hockey he had ahead of himself. First, though, we're going to send it over to Amanda Ferguson at the crime scene about what we're learning about the suspect tonight. I'm Adrian Gabriel. We're outside of Chesswood Arena where the hockey community is mourning the loss of one of their own. Yesterday, 15-year-old Roy Pechanovsky was killed in his Ajax home along with his 13-year-old sister and their 39-year-old mother. Now, I'm joined right now by Deji DeGennaro. Jay, you are a scout with the London Knights. Roy plays Bantam, 15 years old, and you've watched him multiple times.
Yeah, I got to see him play a good 15 to 20 times this year, and he was the starting goalie on the top team in Ontario, and they're in the middle of the GTHL finals right now, arguably the biggest series of his life, and he was a small goalie who really battled hard and gave his team a chance to win every game, and one thing I really noticed about him was the bigger the game, the better he played, and you could tell he was a really big part of his team on a leadership standpoint, and all the rest of the players looked up to him, that's for sure.
When you remember him playing in net, he was a small guy, but he stood tall between the pipes.
Yeah, he definitely played bigger than his size. He really worked hard. He was a battler, as we like to call it, and you know he never gave up on pucks, and he was always arguably the hardest working guy on the ice, and always gave his team a chance to win, that's for sure.
As a scout for the OHL London Knights, fair to say he was on the radar of your team and several other teams in the OHL?
Yeah, he would have definitely been on the radar of our team and other teams. because he was the top goalie on the best team in the province. So you get a lot of views that way, and like I said, he plays in a lot of championship games, and he always stepped up. The bigger the game, the better he played, and that's something that we really take notice in.
Yesterday, when you heard the news, it hit pretty hard.
Yeah, well, I was at the OHL Cup yesterday, just down the street at Scotiabank Pond, and it was the talk of the day between all GMs, OHL teams, and all the rest of the scouts, and it was just something that was really unexpected, and it hit the hockey community pretty hard.
And that's where you had just watched him play.
Yeah, I was there about a week ago watching him play, and that's what was pretty crazy about it, that I got the news in the same rink that I last saw him play hockey, and so it was just kind of, it gives you the chills a little bit, but it's crazy.
It's a tight-knit community, the hockey community here in the GTA, GTHL, as well as right across the province and country. You watch a player play 1 week, the next week he's gone. It has to hit hard.
Yeah, it's there's really no words to describe it. I guess it's crazy and very unfortunate, and he'll definitely be remembered. I'm happy I got to see him play. He was fun to watch when I got to watch him play, and like I said, it's always appreciative watching a goalie that battles that hard, even though the odds may go against him being his size, but he played a lot bigger than he was, that's for sure.
Wore his heart on his sleeve.
Oh yeah, he was definitely a team first guy. You could see that from watching, and like I said, his leadership was something that was very noticeable.
Safe to say he would have been up for draft next year.
Yeah, he definitely would have had really good potential to be drafted next year into the OHL and move forward with his hockey career, that's for sure.
Thanks for your time today.
No problem. Thank you.
Appreciate it. And Roy's Don Mills Flyers are scheduled to play Game 3 of their GTHL Finals against the Toronto Marlies this Sunday, though we're still waiting to hear if that game will be going ahead as scheduled. I'm Adrian Gobriel for City News.